Hello, I'm Samantha Anderson, Director of Communications for Newton Public Schools, and I'm here with the Superintendent, Dr. Deb Ham, for another Board of Education update. It's been a while, more than a month actually, since we have had our last board meeting, so we had a lot to cover. First of all, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section. We'll try to get to them as quickly as possible. The night started out with some public comments about Summit Learning. I just wanted to take a moment to say that, we value all feedback. Absolutely. And we'll look into that and look for more information in the future. From there, we went and thanked our school board. It's National School Board Recognition Month. Can you just explain, what our school board does and why they're so important to our district?
Our school board is a member board, and there are 7 different members of the school board. They're elected on cycles of 3 and 4. So pretty soon we'll be looking at some elections coming up. But for right now, the Board of Education that we have contains 7 members, and they serve the district. And their primary role is one of oversight, if you will, and advice and counsel. So they all are responsible for board policies and setting the way that we go about doing our work here in the district. They're not involved in the daily operations of the district, but more from a 30,000 feet view, if you will, of the district, and providing what are they hearing from the community? What do they feel like we need to be focused on as far as our goals and objectives? So they provide the vision for the school district. And so they serve for free. So they attend at least one meeting a month, usually more than one. Right now we're on a 2 meeting a month schedule. And not only that, but there's a lot of preparation work that goes into their meeting, and they receive information on a weekly basis. In addition to that, whenever they're in the community, they're freely accessible to our constituents here in USD 373. So we're very pleased and happy with the work that our school board does for us, and appreciative of all of their time and energy that they give to the students and staff of USD 373.
Yes, thank you to all of you. One, decision that they didn't have to make that was probably a little bit more of a difficult decision was about our Cooper Early Education Center. They are changing their deal, the agreement they have with Newton Community Child Care. Can you just explain why that is and what's changing?
Well, the district has had a agreement with the Newton Child Care Center for a number of years, and they've occupied space in the Cooper Early Childhood Education Center. And we have a need now for more space in that building than we have available to us. And the reason is when the board agreed to move forward with the Head Start grant about 1.5 years ago, we notified the board that it was going to mean that the federal guidelines have changed, and we will be required to move at some point in time towards an all-day program. Then in December, the board approved a duration grant application, which provides additional funds to begin that phase in of all-day program. So our plan would be for next year to have two additional classrooms that are needed, because we will have 2 classrooms that will have an all-day program for Head Start. So with that in mind, we knew that we needed to begin seriously communicating to the Child Care Center that unfortunately we were going to need that space back. There is a great need in our community for child care, and it is my hope that other agencies in our community, other businesses in our community, will reach out to Newton Child Care Center and help them to find space and have that space available to students as soon as possible. So the action last night was to terminate or end our agreement with them effective on June 30th of this year.
Okay. There was more bond talk. This is a little bit confusing than some of the other things we've talked about. And I just want to make sure that everyone's clear on what we're doing. That way, if they read it in a paper, they can understand what's going on. So the Board of Education decided to move forward with submitting a proposal to the state. Now, there's not any funding available because of the cap, which we'll talk about more later. But they decided anyway to move forward, knowing that more than likely, they'll get denied because of the funding. Can you just explain the reasoning behind that and why they decided to do that?
Right. It does sound a little odd that we would be applying for dollars when we know there are no dollars available. And there are a couple of different reasons for that. The major reason is there is a line in the statute that provides that the State Board of Education could move a district that has been denied access to funds up in the list of districts that would be approved in the next school year. So our idea here is that we will submit our application. We believe it will be denied, but hopefully it will put us in a better position to be able to move forward in July. We know that there are a number of other districts across the state that are also ready or will be ready by July, and we are fearful that projects that we have been working on since 2014 will not have a chance to go before the voters in this next fiscal year. So in addition to that, it is believed that our legislators are now going to be in session, and we want them to understand how important this is, not just to Newton, but certainly very important to Newton. But it's also important across the state that we begin to look at a statute that was created and put into law as for very good reasons. And yet it is likely to snowball and create a lot of issues down the road for school districts who are in need of being able to get bond money in order to provide for the students that they have in their buildings. So how do we take this opportunity to provide information to our legislators about this issue? And our community, we want our community to understand how important this is to us.
So if no one applies, they may never understand that we may need more funds.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. We also went over quite a few gifts that occurred over the last few months. Can you just let us know the different organizations and individuals that supported our district?
It's always one of my favorite times during the meeting to hear about not only how our community supports us, but also how our teachers work very hard at reaching out to other corporations and agencies and organizations to receive grant money. So we had a little bit of both this time, and we received for Slate Creek a $1,000 grant award for soccer goals at their school that will be on their playground. So that's really exciting for our kids. And Blue Cross and Blue Shield provided almost $2,000 worth of funding for two schools, Northridge and again Slate Creek. This will go to help support health and wellness by providing PE equipment. And so again, kudos to the teachers that submitted the grants or the school that submitted the grants. It does help when we receive those funds to augment the things that are already happening in the district. In addition to that, Midway Motors, a local business, provided $2,500 for admissions to the Newton High basketball game on December 4th. So hopefully someone who is listening today was a recipient of a free admission into the high school game. So by the way, there's games going on tonight and a hog roast that will help to support our Fine Arts Booster Club. So be sure to get out there and have some pulled pork and watch a basketball game.
Awesome.
Oh, I forgot one.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I forgot Amanda Graham, because Amanda, an individual, provided $75 to Cooper for developmentally appropriate toys for our preschool kids. So again, so much to be excited about.
Great. And there was one other thing I'd like to highlight.
Mhm.
The board approved a memorandum of understanding between Prairie View Inc. and Newton School District. Can you explain what's happening out of that?
Okay, we have students that require or need some additional mental health supports. And so Prairie View has some students that have already been participating on their campus. And we were looking for an opportunity, a way for students maybe who didn't have access or couldn't get out there to benefit from the mental health services that are being provided. So we're going to provide space for Prairie View to come to Newton High School and be on site and work with students that are their current clients, as well as some students that don't currently have access. So we're really excited to be able to help students grapple with some very serious, in some cases, issues that prevent them from being able to enjoy learning and enjoy their high school experience. So we're really excited about this. And again, I have to shout out to the staff members that have worked very hard on putting this together and making this happen at Newton High School.
Right. Well, those are the highlights we are going to share with you today. There is another meeting, and that's on January 28th, 7 o'clock at McKinley. And again, feel free to leave any questions you may have in the comment section. We'll get to them as soon as we can. And thank you, Dr. Ham, for your time. And thank you all for watching. Hope you have a great day.